Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. How are you today?
I'm all right, man. It's I grew up watching you, man. Seriously, it's an honor.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. We actually filmed season 2 of Super Ninjas, a show that I was in. We filmed that in Pittsburgh, actually.
Right on, man. Right on. How's everything with you in your life, man?
Everything's going well. Well, I wouldn't say everything's going well. That would be a lie. But one thing I am working on now is a show called Los the Logo. So I have this like rap persona that I make this music with, and I took that persona and made a little TV show. Really, people were asking me why I don't act anymore. That's really what the project is about. People were, oh, we remember you from this, we remember you from that. Why don't you do that anymore? And I was like, well, if people want to see me do that, then I should showcase some of my talents. So I just made a little show for everybody to check out. And yeah, life is going okay for anybody who's going through anything at the moment, which is just about everybody. I'm sorry, there's like a lawnmower outside or something right now. Anybody going through anything right now, which it seems like most people are these days. Hopefully, the show can make you feel better. Really, is really the point.
I've been keeping in the loop with those, man, personally, and I like how you put your own music in them too. I really like that, man. And you know, I really like how you're multifaceted, man. I really do.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Just growing up, Super Ninjas inspired me, man, to create my own ideas and shows like that. Growing up, I'm 23, and just persevere, man, and to be creative, be yourself, and that's really what um, a lot of your inspiration to me has been. So you know, just want to let you know that, man.
Thank you, thank you. I had a lot of fun doing all of that stuff, and I never really thought forward to what it was going to mean to other people. So that's the more of what I'm learning throughout the years. Um, I used to just kind of jump into a project, just kind of gung ho, I guess they would call it, just ready to do whatever, to just be as bright a star as I could try to be as funny as I can, or as cool as I could, or as entertaining as possible. And then over time, I started to realize that a lot of those things had a larger meaning to people that weren't just me. And that's what I'm really focusing on in my projects now is what else is going to happen as a result of somebody watching this, somebody tuning into this. And so hopefully you do the same thing with your music, because it's not really, all about how big it's going to be at the moment, or what network it's on. I've been on different networks and stuff like that. It's really about that lasting impression that it's going to have. You know what I mean? So I did a couple shows that stand the test of time, thankfully, because people are going back and looking at them now, and they're like, man, I really like that. I really like what they were trying to do. And so hopefully you do that same thing with your projects, and I'm going to check them out, post them when it's time for them to come out. And I'll check the things out, and hopefully that goes well. What exactly are you working on?
First of all, man, I want to say thank you for your kind words, man. Seriously, I make short films. I've done a lot of horror short films, but we just did this romantic comedy about a double blind date that we're going to be releasing next month. Just sort of like Snoop Dogg did Mac and Devin with Wiz Khalifa, and that it's sort of like a buddy comedy short film. But I want to ask you, man, something that interested me to ask you was, how did you get into acting? Being from South Carolina, how did that environment shape you to want to do this?
So for most people, you have like childhood hobbies, like things that you do when you're little that are just to fill your time as entertainment. Um, so like some people play sports. Most people, once you get older and you stop playing sports, it doesn't become your job. It's kind of like just this thing that you were doing for fun. Some people play card games or video games. Um, and now we have these professional leagues where you grow up and people are playing video games. It's not really, it wasn't really meant for something for you to do as a career when you were younger, and then you get older and you have the opportunity to do something like that. So I used to make like little YouTube videos. You know what I mean? I was in drama class at school where I had to do, theatrics. Working with my first drama school teacher is how I got my first television job. I, did the video that she presented for us in her class, and then she asked me to do a TV show on ETV. And so I was like 8 years old when I did that. And then I started doing plays around the same time that were here in the local theaters and whatnot. So it's kind of one of those things where, if I was like a young magician, a young musician, a lot of those jobs, you don't get to grow up and do the same thing that you were doing when you were little. And I got lucky with acting. It's one of those things that I was always kind of doing and always kind of entertaining and always wanted to be funny. And then I was lucky enough to be one out of a million people who get to do what you were doing as a kid, as a hobby, and have it turn out to be my actual job. So, anybody out there, if you take what you're doing seriously, it doesn't matter what it is. You could just be skateboarding, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what it is. You could end up growing up and doing that thing that you were doing as a kid, as an adult. And we need more police officers. We need more lawyers. We need more doctors. We need more computer technicians and all of that. But we also need more people who had the jobs that we used to love doing as kids. And you get an opportunity to do that as an adult. We can lose a lot of the fun that's involved in it, just in adulthood. And I think that's really sad. I think people got to hold on to that kid that was in you that just wanted to have fun. That kid that was in you that, wasn't shocked by the world. It seems like after a certain amount of years in your life, you're shocked by the world, and then it affects every move that you make. And so I think I need people to go back to what you were when you were younger. It helps you find what you really want to do and who you really want to be. And shout out to you in Greatness Pictures. I'm sure everything you do will be great. And we'll have to do a collab or something with it.
Hell yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, I want to ask you something which you just touched on there. Is a lot of it is negative stuff. In the world today. I mean, did you, when you were creating your own self as an artist and everything, how much negativity or maybe even competition did you face in school when you were crafting your own art?
Now, what's funny is that school wasn't a particularly competitive environment for me. So, maybe playing basketball, we had little basketball cliques where you and your friends, the 3 or 4 y'all, or 5 of y'all, would always play against 3 or 4 of these other guys. So we had little stuff like that. Auditioning for plays and things like that, it was kind of like the teachers made that decision anyway, and I wasn't going to try to get anybody's way. Nobody's going to get in mine. But at the same time, there wasn't anybody necessarily for my role. So I was in a class where it was like the role is best for me. So it wasn't like I had a bunch of competition to compete with anyway. Most of school wasn't very competitive. Maybe when we started talking about girls, you know how people get when you talk about women going on dates and stuff like that. So the pretty girls like this girl like you, this girl like you. I got into a lot of that.
Did you have some favorite film that made you really want to go for comedy, that really inspired you when you were younger? Did you try to imitate, or was there a comedian, actor, etc.?
Did inspire me? So there are comedians like Eddie Murphy and Chris Rock, Chris Tucker, different people like that that I definitely grew up watching. Even Kevin Hart was getting pretty big when I was in middle school, about to go into high school. Denzel Washington. Will Smith. I've seen almost every Will Smith movie to date, almost. Um, Definitely a big influence there. I enjoy watching other people, do what they do. So, because you're creating these different people in your head when you're acting, and so sometimes you need to look at other people to be inspired, so I can create other people in my head. Like I see that person that you made, and now let me take that and create somebody else. So yeah, there are a lot of influences, but those guys, I mean, they're very famous. So I guess most people would say stuff like that. Wesley Snipes is another one I used to watch. The Blade movies a lot. So those are really just examples of roles that I would like to step into. A similar position one day. So hopefully. What's your favorite movie? Do you have a favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Training Day. I really like Training Day, man.
That's a good one. I think that got an Oscar. That's an Oscar winner.
That movie, man. That soundtrack, Snoop Dogg was in that. Dr. Dre. That movie, man, is top tier. That's top tier right there.
Yeah. That's a classic, man. That's a classic for real, man. A classic performance. It doesn't get too much better than that. So hopefully, I can have one of those performances one day.
Hell yeah.
You making a romantic comedy? Is it?
Yeah, it's like it's a.
Sure.
We shot it we shot it 2 months ago, and it was me and my buddy JJ. Me and him were actually met. We're both DJs, and me and him in real life, and me and him became friends with just DJing, and me and him did this film together, and it's basically playing ourselves, but he's going on this date with this girl. She wants to bring her friend, and that's usually a kind of a weird sign. So he calls my character, and it's super fun, man. And when we drop it, man, I definitely want to send it your way to get your thoughts on it.
So that's exciting, man. That's exciting. So are these your real love interests in the piece, or do you have actors playing these parts?
Well, the one girl is actually my friend JJ's girlfriend in real life, so that was cool. And then the other girl that I get with in the film, me and her aren't together in real life, but she is pretty fly. So, but it's definitely the chemistry. All of us were cool before we filmed it, so the chemistry I think is there. And there's a little bit of Friday After Next inspired through it too. You've been on set before, and the chemistry was there. And how did you navigate that with your experience doing projects with that?
Well, I actually had a really good time for the most part dealing with chemistry on the set. Oddly enough, what's funny, the actual chemistry with people on the set that I was actually working with, that usually went very well. I think a lot of times we got involved with our outward lives, and those lives would get involved in the lives that we had on set. So when I'm actually sitting there with a castmate or somebody that I work with, most of the time the conversation is very simple, very normal. The job is what we came to do, and then we go off and we do whatever else that we're doing. And when we come back here, this space is meant for us to do our job. So most of the time that actually went very well. It seems like I have more issues with people in the industry that I'm not actually working with. Like people I'm a lot of actors have the same experience. A lot of times you run into issues with people that you aren't actually on contract to work with, and I guess that's how it goes, because once you get locked into a project, you don't want it to be awkward. So I've been around a lot of celebrities, a lot of famous people. I've done some large movies. I've done some smaller independent films, and it seems like everybody, when we have a personal face-to-face interaction, it actually, for the most part, goes really well. And sometimes the after effects of said project end up getting in the way from those personal relationships like furthering themselves. So I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's kind of the way the game goes. You know, I'm not gonna mess with the people that are right here in front of me that I'm getting this money with. I'm going to bother somebody who's on the other side of the tracks, that might be in my lane. And you know what I mean. I don't want them to be in my way. So that kind of seems like what what happens a lot of times. So I try not to get into that. But my personal relationships with people, like actually on the set, it normally goes very well if you're focused on actually doing the job that you're supposed to be doing.
Something that I want to ask you very specifically on, man, is the other day I spoke with one of the cinematographers who did season 2 of Super Ninjas in Pittsburgh. His name was Mike Mickens, and real dope dude, man. You know, what was your experience in the city of Pittsburgh working?
Pittsburgh is fun. It's like a lot like Los Angeles, which is where I was living at the time that I got the part. So it's very similar, but it's funny. It has elements of a big city and elements of a small country town, which is actually where I'm from. So it's kind of like if you met those things in the middle.
Like I said, man, growing up, that was you know it was a very inspirational show. But like you said, it's a big city, and it also could be a small country town as well. And doing movies up here, that's what feels like Pittsburgh is. I mean, what I really like about what you're doing now these days with your new series is I like the landscapes that you choose for your episodes, man. I mean, you know, is that just really from the Los to Logo series on YouTube? Is that really just your neighborhood, or are you going pretty far out to do that?
So most of what's in the show is a product of what's just right around me. You know, it really is my environment. So I could go out of my way to add some more production value to the show. But it really was just something I wanted to do so people could laugh and enjoy their time. It doesn't matter where I am. I do make a point of as if it's me like in a grassy plain or on a sidewalk or whatever it is. I make sure I put the time into it to make it look good, so people are at least watching something worth watching, something that I put some time into. Entertainment is something that I've always wanted to be a part of. So you know, my resume looks pretty good as of right now as an actor, and the shows that I've done look pretty good. So I'm okay with just going and getting dirty and just making something that's fun for people to watch right now.
Well, like I said earlier in here, man, is I like how I really respect how you're multifaceted, and you do your own music and you put it in your own series. You know, how influential was music to you?
I have a lot of free time on my hands, and which most people do, but I think they spend it doing something like watching television, you know, I don't know, being depressed or something, being sad. I feel like a lot of people got trapped in the house even years ago from COVID. Like that layover is still there of just like, I'm okay with just sitting here and watching videos and scrolling on TikTok all day. So, I mean, I take that same like energy and I made, you know, like 200 songs that I put on the internet. I've been making music my whole life, so I figured I might as well put this stuff out for people to hear. And then once I completed the music that I was making at the time, I figured, well, if I'm going to make a little show, instead of making all of this background music, cinema music with movie sounds in it, I'm just going to use my own songs. I haven't made music videos for most of them. I have like 10 or 13 music videos on YouTube. So I figured just for those songs to get their chance to shine properly, I should just put them in a show. So that's all that happened with that stuff.
A lot of respect to you, man. A lot of respect to you for that. Do you something something that you posted a long time ago? I don't know how long ago it was, but you posted clips from Rush Hour 2. And that's one of my favorite movies, man. And I know it obviously means a lot to you. It means a lot to me. But my question is that a lot of what you do is physical comedy. You know, how influential was someone, let's just say specifically Chris Tucker in Rush Hour? You know, how influential was that presence to you?
That skill that other people have, after observing it, I took it and I applied it to my own performances. So hopefully people can laugh, or I can explain a part of the story to you without actually saying anything. Because a lot of times uh, things get lost in that translation, and it becomes you losing the point of what I'm getting at, lost in the words, instead of me just telling you the story physically. So that's why I try to do a lot of that stuff.